kiss you.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah! You want to run or you want to duck down? You want to duck just go over and get onto the bench and stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets.
Yeah, Jets. Jets. People are telling me that the Jets actually stands for just end the season, and this is the first year I feel like that resonates.
Yeah, let's own that one. Let's own that one. Let's put it into practical application, if you will.
Yeah, can we end it? Like, I felt like that in the game. There was like fucking 5.5 minutes left, 4 minutes or whatever it was. And I remember I was like, just throw in the towel. It's like a prize fight. Like, he's getting killed. Just throw in the towel. Stop the fight. Like, already, just get us out of here. Nobody wants to be there. This season is tough, my friends. Well, that said, welcome to the Thursday thick of it. I am GreenBean. That is our good friend, the one and only Dom C. From Project Prospect with Dom C, the most analytical fella I know, outside of Jeremy, of course. I mean, the methods might differ, but analytical, just
nonetheless.
Yeah. So, man, we're gonna talk. I got a poll question in there. Excuse me, for you guys. And the show will start today with that subject. But first, we got to say hello to Dakota, the delusional Jets fan. I wonder what Dakota's delusions are today. Are you delusional in the sense that, like, we're fine? Or, where are you, buddy? Talk to me. Talk to me tonight. He comes in first, followed by Jay-Z Jets fan. What's up with you, buddy? Yeah, and then our good buddy Tony Alexio coming in. Dom C for Scout Patrol. Yeah, man.
Yeah, whatever that role is, I like it.
Right, we're gonna make it. we're gonna cut it out. He wants you. You know what it is? He wants, like, so we have our scout team and all that stuff, but there's somebody that walks around and goes, "The fuck are you doing? What are you? You're a Scout Patrol." You know what I mean?
Yeah, so here's how the hierarchy of a GreenBean led GM team would go. You'd be here, right? And whoever's the coaches, you can have whatever your coaches. And on this side, you have your scouting and your player personnel. That's kind of the avenue that I oversee. And I say, when scouts are doing all this work, GreenBean, here's this guy. You look at it, rip it up, hogwash. Give me that fatty, round 6.
That's right.
Give me that guy, round 6.
Yeah.
Does he play fullback?
Well, I don't like fullbacks, but here's the thing. It's like you make sure you set the tone. Like, look, I am going to sincerely listen and consider everything that you guys say, but I need you to understand, ultimate decision is mine.
Yeah.
And I don't want any goddamn feelings. This is not about feelings. We're not in here to feel. We're in here to do shit. Your job is to compile statistics, information, factual, what's going on with this person? What's he made of? Do his knuckles bleed or not? That's what I want to know. When's the last time he had bloody knuckles? It's been 6 years. Ow!
How big's his ass? Is he heavy in the ass, right?
That's right. If we're in the 5th to 6th round and you start talking to me about, fucking traits, I'm like, dude, we're looking for football players in the 6th round. I want big old fatties. I want gluteus maximus to the maximus. And we're going to make sure that nobody runs on us, because this guy, that's all he does. He does one thing. He eats up space as if it was so many chicken wings. That's what I want. So, yeah, man, that's the way it'll be. I know how to build a team. We play, but I'm telling you, my team would be ferocious. It would be lethal, and it would be nasty and dominant. And we would remember, I would tell my coach, Here's the philosophy, and you can toss it around as much as you want, but 4 yards of play wins the game. That doesn't mean I only want 4 yards. It just means you don't get less. 4 yards. If I see less than 4 yards a couple plays in a row, I'm walking down from the booth. I'm coming out of the booth. Mitch is here. Matthias Simon is here. I know we're going to keep talking about this, aren't we? Yeah, seemingly. You know what, Matt? There are those among us that are convinced that we're going to go on a tear. We're going to go on a tear. Now, I believe that, and we're still in it, technically speaking. I'm there. I'm with it. We can end the season 10-7 right now. We're getting into playoffs with that. It's just that the data that we've collected, particularly last week, the most, current, up-to-date data that we have is terrible to support such a thing. You're like, it's like, it's just hard to justify real belief. I mean, I'm hoping. I'm sure everybody's hoping. Every one of us, the most, ardent detractor would be on board. You give us a 3-game win streak and everybody's back, But all right. Okay. Well, like losing 5, winning 1, and then losing the following game does not a playoff team make.
What's the record now? What is it? 3-7?
3-7, buddy. That's not
so does a 3-game winning streak get you kind of rev back up, get the juices flowing, get you hopeful?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, if you can start to string some together, because look, we got the Colts, we got the Seahawks. Those are they might not be the Chiefs, but those are good football teams. They play hard. The games they lose, it's like they're games. Like, the thing that bothers me the most about the Jets is when we lose, a lot of the time, even though we had a series of close games this year, we like to lose and make sure that nobody even thinks that we're going to win. Like, you know what I mean? We like to go, oh yeah, we turned the lights off for this one. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't bring our cleats. Everybody's wife is mad at them. Everybody's thinking about shit. Everybody ate too much chocolate. Like, it's just, that we like to make sure, like, oh yeah, we're not competing today. Like when we were in there in the Denver game, even though we had a chance to win it at the end, it was like that whole game. It was like, we're not even competing today.
That game was over before it started, dude. You were there. You were there.
Yeah, it was miserable.
You were there. It was over before it started. End of sentence.
It was one more game where I turned to Matt O'Leary, who we were talking about it. It's like, it's one thing that like I probably shouldn't go, right? That's one. I probably shouldn't enter the building. But when I do, I sit with Matt every time. And every time I look over and I go, what the fuck? He's like, I don't like, we do the same thing. It's like a repeat. It's like the Twilight Zone or the Groundhog Day. And I look at him and he's just like, it's the same. And I'm like, we got to stop. Like, I love Matt O'Leary. I love his fiance. Like, I genuinely enjoy their presence. And Ryan's usually right next to him or right behind it. And it's like, but we got to shake it up. We can't sit together anymore. I got to look at somebody. I got to turn and look at Dom, somebody different and go, what the fuck? To get something different going on. Because the O'Leary thing with GreenBean is just not working, man. But Dom, I mean, like as far as the hope, I mean, do you have any? Aaron Rodgers talked about it this week. There's a beautiful thing in life called hope, and Ulbricht is great, and we're doing tackling drills and all that shit. I mean, how do you? I mean, any hope on? From your end?
No, it's waning very, very thin, buddy. Waning very, very thin.
It's running low.
It is. I mean, I don't know what to be hopeful for because, like you said, I think you said it, very eloquently. It's like the teams that we have to play yet, like, there's no gimmies. As a matter of fact, we may be the gimme on their schedule.
That's dude. Every team's fan looks at their schedule and sees the Jets and goes, okay, we got that one. Every
Yeah.
single one of them.
You know, and it doesn't help that we have to play Buffalo in Buffalo, which is a place that we never play good. Coming off of a bye. You know, something that another thing that we never do good. You know, like I said, we have all these teams that, yeah, listen, Indianapolis is a coin flip. Seattle's a coin flip. The Rams are a coin flip. Like Seattle and the Rams might be better teams than us right now. Jacksonville. All right. Do you think we can go down to Jacksonville and squeak one out? Possibly. You know, we got 2 games against Miami. It's never easy. I mean, it's a never ending like suck fest.
Suck fest. Yeah, it's never ending. It's like I never would have thought it. I never saw this coming. I'll be honest. Never.
Yeah.
This was the year I went, we're going to be good.
I think that's why I agree. I wasn't one of the Super Bowl, like we're going to win the Super Bowl guys, but like I would have bet, and I'm not a gambler, but I would have bet a pretty penny that we were breaking the playoff streak this year. Like that was like almost a no doubter in my mind. You know, it's just a matter of were we going to win the division or not. You know, was 11 wins or 12 wins going to get us the division? And here we are at 3-7. It's so to me, I think this is why I said I think this is one of the more like unsettling seasons that I can remember in a long time. Like we've had bad seasons. That's fine. You know, we all remember Kotite. You know, we've had bad years, but this one where the roster kind of aligned with the expectations that were being talked about, and it just completely like you talk about backfiring. Oof, that's where we're at.
Yeah, you know, and Kotite, you know, like it was interesting with that year, and for all my older fans that remember 1996, and we have the Eagles. I read.
Oh, I got to put it on.
Yeah. Well, that's on tonight, so we'll see how that goes. 7-2 versus 7-3. We'll chime in about that tonight as well. But anybody who remembers that team? 1996, we were 1-15. And almost every week, like it was like they just didn't know how to close it, but they were a decent team. Like they weren't like, abysmal 1-15 that you see sometimes. Like the team can't even compete. We competed with everybody. It just in the end of the fourth quarter, we just we were like children. And then Parcells came and just took that exact same team. He brought in a couple of players. And it was 9-7, got rid of a couple, kept a couple, but, brought on a couple. But it's like, this team, like, and I was one of the people that, was like, all right, it's going to take us a minute to rev up, but this team is poised to make some real noise, and Super Bowl is not out of the question. The idea that we can't score touchdowns and,
it's crazy.
It's crazy, man. So, all right, let me say, Aunt Gina's in the house. I think I saw
Aunt Gina.
What's up, man? What's up, Gene? How you doing? Dylan's here. Disrespect. Jets mess is here. What's up, man? Look at all you guys. This is great, man. And I love you guys. Andrew Yale says Vrabel Parcells equals Parcells. Well, I mean, nobody's Parcells, right? And I know that you're not insinuating as such. But it's like, I think Vrabel is cut from that type of cloth. Like, we talk about offensive versus defensive coaches. Vrabel, technically speaking, is defense, but he's not in the same way that we've had, like Rex, Mangini, Adam Gase on the offensive side. It's like they were Saleh. They were only defense. They didn't know shit. Yeah. And they couldn't even contribute on the other side of the ball. That's not Vrabel. Vrabel is very much a head coach.
Yeah, Vrabel is in that mold that we expected, or that they expected Saleh to be, that CEO kind of mold. Yeah, he's got a defensive background, but he's more so a head coach.
Yeah, he's a head coach, and then like we talked about it last night or 2 nights ago on the panel. Think about this, guys. With Vrabel, 2 of his offensive coordinators consecutively got hired as head coaches. In Matt LaFleur, who's still thriving in Green Bay, and Arthur Smith, it didn't work out in Atlanta. But it's that says something. Like where, you look at the Jets, and I was talking about this on the after show on Tuesday night, which is like, dude, it's the craziest thing, Dom. In the last 10 years, the Jets have had 7 offensive coordinators. So we think about this from Todd Bowles. So you had Todd Bowles, Adam Gase. Well, let's say Rex Ryan. That would add 16, but he had 3 offensive coordinators too. Let's just start from Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles, Adam Gase, Robert Saleh. 3 head coaches, 7 offensive coordinators, dude.
Was it really 7? Who did?
I'll tell you right fucking now. You ready?
I'm ready.
Bowles started with Chan Gailey. Okay. Chan Gailey retired and then went and coached elsewhere. Then he hired Bates from the Woods. Remember, he hired him out of the dark. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was Morton. I want to say Chad Morton. He was a kick returner. But Morton, I forget his first name. John
Morton. Yep.
So Morton for 1 year, and then he fired him and hired Bates. So 3 offensive coordinators. Then we get Adam Gase. Adam Gase theoretically he had Dowell Loggins. But in name only. Gase didn't need a quarterback coach. He didn't need anybody. He was the guru. I'm going to do it all. But you can count him or Dowell Loggins, whoever you want to count. That's who was coordinating the offense. Hold on a second. What the fuck, man? You got to answer these calls, man. Okay. Hopefully you're answering. So he had 1. So we had 3 with Bowles, and then 1 with Gase, and then in 2 years. And then you get over to Saleh, he had LaFleur, Hackett, and Downing. Right? So we got 7 different play callers in 3 head coaching regimes. And then look, if you want to add Rex, he had 6 years. He had 3 offensive coordinators too. He had Shoddy, Sperano, who God rest his soul.
Yeah, you know what? We were talking about that today. I was talking
Marty Morningwig.
I didn't realize that Sperano passed away. I didn't even know.
Yeah, a number of years ago.
Yeah.
It was working for the Jets that did it, I heard.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Maybe.
Unbelievable. Sad.
But it's you think about it. I mean, like, what does that tell you? Like, so when you're hiring a defensive head coach and we have 7 offensive coordinators, like there's a problem. Like, there's no way to pick up any type of momentum, to have any sort of like symmetry and like continuation of the system. We talk about it all the time, man. Like, consistency is worth its weight in gold. Like, when you can keep a roster together, like every year we're changing the roster. We've had, how many offensive linemen have we had in the last 4 years?
Oof.
70?
At least, right?
Feels like it.
Unbelievable.
So what you're really looking for, guys, it's not so much defense versus offense, but like when you hire a rookie and they're a coordinator, they tend to be, that's all they've ever done. So you give them the head coach job, but they're still inclined to make sure that my side of the ball, that's what they know. So they have to learn how to do the other thing. Now they've watched, they've worked under this guy or that guy and they've learned things. But look, sitting under a mentor is one thing. Going out on your own and doing it is an entirely different thing. And that pertains to all sorts of different realms. And, it's not just sports or football, but it's particularly evident in football because we're all watching. There's a million cameras. There's fucking thousands of fans. And we're like, hey, what are you doing? You fucking piece of shit. Like, so that's what we're doing. And it's glaring. It's more obvious. But man, like, so when you talk about bringing an offensive mind in here, that's exciting. But like the other part of it, man, is I'm not into another rookie. I'm just like the idea of getting an actual seasoned head coach. That's why Nagy isn't the worst idea for me. I mean, he's not the sexiest guy. He's not my first choice. He's not the guy I'm pining for, so to speak. But like, man, he had 4 years in Chicago. He has a 34-31 record. No Jets coach has had that in forever, right? 2 playoff appearances in 4 years. Like, and he, so he got fired and he goes and works under Andy Reid for a couple years. And it's like, that ain't a bad lineage, man.
Yeah.
Right. What do you think about Nagy?
You know what? I've talked about him myself to other groups and other people. The one thing that's intriguing to me about Nagy is Mike Borgonzi, the assistant GM in Kansas City. If they can get, and he's a guy that I have circled as a guy that I would really, really like. Again, big time experience in scouting and player personnel, something I think, and the Chiefs do a good job. The Chiefs find guys and look at their past couple drafts. The talent that they pluck out and well, I'm sure a lot of it's development as well. And they develop better than we do. But if you could bring in, I'm all for a head coach GM combo that have experience together, that have that same synergy, that share a vision and can work together. So I'm all for Nagy if it means Borgonzi's coming here. You know what I mean? Now, the counterpoint that, you talk to Bears fans, and Bears fans will tell you, nah, you don't want Nagy, man. You don't want him. It's, it ain't nothing good going to happen with Matt Nagy here. But, yeah, I think the bigger foundational piece is what happens. Oh, they missed the field goal. Is what happens at the GM, because I think it's all but assured Joe Douglas is gone. So you gotta figure that out, I think, first. So give me Nagy if that means we're getting Borgonzi in here. John Spytek, the assistant GM down in Tampa Bay, is another guy that the up and comer really, really like him. Young, good solid scouting base, build, work there on built a good team. You want to bring in a Liam Cohen, who's a young up and coming coordinator to kind of get his first taste of head coach. I'd even be okay with that if it meant Spytek's going to call the shots as the GM. So.
Yeah, I mean, and the idea, like you talk about the assistant GM from the Lions too, like they maybe, him and Ben Johnson coming. That's because, and it's not to like do what we did with Hackett and Aaron Rodgers to trick them and court somebody and kind of, do that whole thing. But it's like just to bring in some symmetry. There's already a comfort level with one another. I'll tell you what, man, when you look at the Chiefs, their last, let's say 4 or 5 drafts, it's riddled with the guys that I lobbied for. Riddled.
And they find and develop starters, man. Late round picks.
Dude. Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, Karlaftis. Who's the other fucking guy? The linebacker that I liked.
Leo Chanel.
I mean, there's just so many. It's like. Yeah, and
it keeps going. It keeps going and going. The cornerback there. Why can't I think of his name? Somebody in the chat help me there. God, I can't think of his name right now. It's somebody in the chat said it also. Carson Steele, another GreenBean
Steele, right, Andrew Yale. But that's just it. Like you look at it. Like when I'm making my case and everybody's like, GreenBean's out of his fucking mind. He's getting old. He's a crusty, crotchety old man. You say what you want, man. But like the Chiefs pull off my drafts most of the time. Of course, not everybody, but a lot of the guys that I'm like hoping and just saying to the Jets, come on, grab these guys. They do it, and it looks pretty good. That's all I'm saying. It looks pretty good over there, doesn't it? Now,
What-
again, like
what-
Tom said, very key development, offensive staff, Andy Reid, the whole thing. Of course, that has something to do with it. And I'll tell you what else helps a little bit, not much, but a little is Patrick Mahomes, having him
Sure.
around. But again, like, if it's we talk all the time, oh, the Jets passed on Patrick Mahomes. If Patrick Mahomes came to the Jets, there's no guarantee that he's Patrick Mahomes, man. Because like, Andy Reid sitting behind Alex Smith for half a year or whatever that was, and like having Andy Reid to kind of bring him up, develop him, like we didn't have anything. Who do we have that year? We had McCagnon, so that was Bowles. I was probably Morton.
Whoever the offensive, I don't know if it was a coordinator or whatever, but I do remember that there was people in that room pining for Patrick Mahomes there. And he said, no, I'm taking a safety.
I really feel like safety is the right move. And not only that,
we're going to double it.
Second round? Second, yeah. I want another one. I want two. I want the safety thing to be done. Talking safety. After taking defensive tackle after defensive tackle in the first round, it's just like, oh, those were the most annoying years ever, man. And you know what's crazy, though? I defended McCagnon back then because I was convinced that McCagnon was getting Bowles his players. Like Darren Lee, Bowles loved that hybrid safety linebacker build. And like, so grabbing Darren Lee, two safeties, like I was convinced that it was Todd Bowles' drafts, even though McCagnon I thought he was just saying, hey, coach, what do you need? That kind of a thing. And then we got rid of Bowles and McCagnon was all solo like, and it was like the worst draft I'd ever seen in my life. I was like, I was so excited. Like, you guys are going to see, it's all going to change. Yeah. And then once that happened, everything made sense. And I'm like, dude, this guy needs to go.
Or Darius Stewart in the third round.
Followed by Chad Hansen. Again, 2 in a row, baby.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Not a lineman in sight for fucking 3 years either.
2 offensive linemen in 5 drafts. And the highest one is a third round because it's an unimportant position. And it only needs 5 guys to fill it.
But safety. Let's stack all of our premium picks on defensive tackles and safeties, baby.
Yeah. And it's funny. You've heard me a million times. It's like, it's one thing if there's an absolute beast at like defensive tackle, and that's one of 2 positions that you need to fill your team.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, dude, this guy, but like when you need an edge rusher, wide receivers, running back, quarterback, when you need all those things, the last thing you should be spending your first round picks on is a defensive tackle. Like for me, like, we were just making fun of it. I'm a big dude. I get my defensive tackles in the 5th, 6th, and 7th round. That's what I do, and I have a pipeline and they're developing. You don't grab a 7th round defensive tackle and expect them to come in and fill the void, so to speak. But that's where you get your guys. I want guys that can, dude, I want 2 guys. If I'm doing a 4-man front, I want 2 guys that, dude, if the middle of the line is closed, you're not running here. You know what I mean? And I want a linebacker behind, like that's the kind of linebacker I want. I'll fucking kill you. Like that's what you want. Use fucking finesse. I hate finesse. Finesse is for the offense, man. You know what I mean? Wide receivers. That's who has finesse. My tight ends,
I'm okay with
running backs.
I'm okay with the finesse edge rusher, like a Will McDonald. I like that.
Yep, fair point. Fair point. You can do that, but I'll tell you what, I'd prefer a Bruce Smith. Somebody. He was kind of a hybrid finesse, but he'll run you over, man.
Reggie White, remember Reggie White? How good he was, dude. Reggie White might have been arguably one of the best defensive players I ever watched.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
I mean, because he would just with a bat with his left arm, and guys would go rolling.
Yeah,
he was the king of that long arm where he would just do this and just drive people back, and he'd control you and just fucking throw you out of the way. Yeah, man.
Crazy.
I'll tell you. Anthony Coleman talking about Brian Flores or Deion Sanders, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn. Yeah, I mean, well, Aaron Glenn, look, we all have an affinity toward Aaron Glenn, and I'm included in that, right? And he's doing a good job. But once again, it would be the exact same thing that we've done for the only difference is that he was a Jets player. He's a rookie defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
like we're gonna do it again.
Flores is somebody that I'm really fond of, and I can get on board with. Now I know that there's other hurdles that you have to kind of leap to get him in, especially since he's suing the league, and I can't imagine Woody would go against the good old boys club and bring somebody in who's probably has has been blackballed, but. He's a guy that I think I could get behind in a defense mind, depending who it's bringing in with his offense, because he has the experience. His teams were, accountable and tough as nails, the least penalized teams when he was in Miami. That's leadership. I'd be on board with that. He's one of the defensive guys that I'd happily take on with open arms.
Well, and what do you think about the idea of him? So you get Brian Flores in here, and he brings with him McCown as an offensive coordinator. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's okay. I mean, has McCown called plays? I don't know. I mean, he did in high school. He was a high school coach for a while there. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I can get on board with that. Listen, he's learning under KOC over there, and that that lineage from McVay to O'Connell and stuff like that just seems to work. So if McCown's coming from that from that group, I'm sure it'll be something worthwhile. So now will or can McCown work with Aaron Rodgers is the question.
Well, and that brings us to the problem. Before we get to that, I want to oh shit, I forgot about the other thing. Shit. All right, but I want to end this poll and see. And let's talk about it, Dom. So a lot of people were talking about Gruden, and just yesterday there were all kinds of articles coming out that Gruden's linked to the Jets. And then there was even talk about him being the president of football operations, and it just shows you how much everybody knows out there. They put it out there as if it's factual, but it's not. It's just, hey, I'm hearing this. Well, where are you hearing it? My friend was talking about it in my living room. It's like, well, where do you hear it? So we hear today that he signed a multi-year deal.
2-year deal with
Barstool. Yeah. So he's out for next year's coaching.
Not necessarily.
Why would he sign the deal?
Because they did say, they talked about it on one of the Barstool podcasts today. One, the Bussin' with the Boys. One of the guys, not Luan, but the other guy, I can't remember his name. He said that the contract specifically does not eliminate him from, pursuing NFL jobs. If something like that would come up, he can still pursue it. Now,
did we see the numbers for his deal with Barstool?
No.
You think it's going to be more than he'll make with the Jets? What do you think?
No. But
no,
I don't.
Interesting.
I don't. But I don't want him with the Jets. He's a guy. He's part of that old. I say the word old school. I don't mean it like that, but that old mentality. He's the guys that I don't want. Like the Rex Ryans and the Chuckies of the world. That ship has sailed, man. That ship has sailed. Give me a little bit. I don't need a brand new guy, but give me a guy that has, that's at least coached, in this, has a finger on the pulse of what the NFL is now and where it's going, Yeah.
And I can appreciate that. I get it. But again, I want a head coach, and he's been one. So the question was, does Gruden's deal with Barstool upset you? Because it definitely is an obstacle. I didn't know about the out clause, but still, it's an obstacle. He's got something on the table. You got to woo him now. You know what I mean? You got to if he's going to drop his case with the NFL and all that jazz. So 38% said not so much, doesn't really bother them. It is what it is. Who cares? Another 38%. So we're tied. Yeah, that was my guy, 21%, and I'm devastated. Only 1% are really sad about this one.
It's now the 37 or 27% of you that said, "Yeah, that's my guy." Really?
Yeah, they
Chucky,
love him.
Chucky, of all the options out there, John Gruden is your guy. Like, is that where we're at this day and age right here as Jets fans? Like, we want Chucky? Jesus Christ. I don't know.
Well, look, I'm with you, but it's like, I think there's a lot to be said for name recognition and experience. He's been the head coach of 3. Well, really 2 teams, but 3 different stints. He was Raiders, youngest coach in the NFL, moved over to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, won the Super Bowl. And then, many years. What?
When?
Yeah,
when did he?
Yeah, 2002 was that? Something like that. I think it was.
We're going to be in 2025, for fuck's sake.
No, I understand, but he was also coaching just a few years ago.
Yeah,
and I mean, him and Mayock, not a very good. I mean, they took Henry Ruggs over Jefferson.
Mike Mayock might have been the worst general manager in terms of scouting and player personnel that we've ever seen, and that was supposed to be his forte. That's what he was known for, right? He was the draft guy. It was awful. Some of those drafts that they had.
I mean, terrible. Even like Cleveland Farrell, like as the number 4 pick or whatever. I was like, what the fuck are they doing? Like there's just, and like Mayock, he's this expert, right, on NFL Network and shit. And he goes and he applies it. It's real easy to critique, but you apply your knowledge and you fail like that. I mean, dude, they were picking guys. I mean, clear as day. And and that's what I'm talking about. Like, so exactly what they were saying with Ruggs. It, Dom. They were saying you can't teach speed, right?
Yeah.
They were doing it. Yeah. That came out of somebody's mouth in that fucking war room, man. You can't teach speed. He's the fastest guy in the draft. And I'm like, oh, yeah? Well, Justin Jefferson is going to have 10 times the career. So why don't we do that? You know what I mean? Oh, man. But, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not like anti the Gruden thing. He clearly knows the game of football. Like, I wonder. So, like, when you look at like a Hackett or a Gase and these guys, and you look at them, you're like, do you really know what the hell you're doing? Like, again, I just see it for years and years. I feel very confident saying this. The Jets are notorious. Whoever we hire, they overcomplicate the game of football. Not that you don't want schemes that can trick and fool. Of course, like you want that. But I feel like they overcomplicate it. Like you don't need to think that much. Like when it's 3rd and 1 and you got an empty backfield, you're thinking too much, dude. Your guys got to be able to get 3 feet. You got to do it. There's only one variable, 2. You snap the ball to the quarterback and he gives it to the, that's it. And then everybody's just got to do their job and you got the fucking first down, right? When you're passing it, you increase the difficulty exponentially, right? And it's like, I don't see the reason. Now, every now and again, yeah, sure. If the pass is working and this and that, you want to check. Of course, you live in the game and you pay attention to the streams and you figure it out. But like brass tacks, you got Braylon Allen and Breece Hall. And and even if you're going to pass it, you leave them back there. You make them think, even if there's that half second of hesitation, Dom, like, let me make sure they're not handing it off. It gives Garrett Wilson that split second to break into the middle without the linebacker falling back into the zone, and he's got the first down. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, remember the Steelers AFC Championship game against the Steelers? The Jets ran the ball all the way down the field. to like, I don't know, the 3 or 4 yard line or whatever it was. We ran the ball. We pounded it down their face. They were demoralized. They were on their heels. They were huffing and puffing. And we had a 1st and goal. And what does Shoddy do? Starts passing the ball from the 3 yard line or whatever it was. We incomplete. And then he decides on 4th down, let's run it. Now they're all amped up. They're all re-energized and everything to fucking kill that. It's like, I just pound it. You got 4 plays. Pound it. You got 90 yards. Pounding it. Pound it again.
Yeah.
But they overthink it.
I'll say this in terms of the coach. Like I said, I think the more important hire is the GM, and there has to be guys that are kind of in sync. So that setting the GM piece aside, I will say my hierarchy of coaches that I would like, and I'm not considering Ben Johnson. I just don't think I don't think he's coming here. But so I'm going to rule him out. If somehow Stefanski or Dable get jostled free, they'd probably be right at the top of my board, one of those two. And then it's probably Flores. And then I can get behind, I wouldn't be too upset with Vrabel. I wouldn't be too upset with, maybe one of these new offensive minds. But like you said, if it's going to be a new guy, he's got to have a vet on the staff. So if you're going to have a new young and up and coming offensive mind as your head coach, you better get a veteran defensive mind to run the defense.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is crazy town. What do you think about this? So Aaron Rodgers, everybody, and Grandizer, it's good to see you in here, buddy.
Yeah.
You do an amazing job. I want to tell you that. I'm like grateful for everything you do, my friend. Sincerely. Aaron Rodgers said that I'm playing in 25. That does limit, and tell me if you disagree. I view that as limiting even more than just the idea of coming to New York with Woody and us and the fucking media and everything else, like the cloud that's over here. It limits even more who's going to want to take the job.
Yeah, I agree. I know people argue that point, and it's been argued on Twitter and social media until the cows come home. But I tend to agree with that. I think it's going to be you're going to have, like I said, if you get Aaron Rodgers, you can pretty much rule out any of these young up and coming offensive minds, the Joe Brady's of the world, and so on and so forth. They're not gonna come in here and work with Rodgers. Ben Johnson not gonna come in here and work with Rodgers. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know, but I would assume. Could you get a Vrabel in here if Rodgers is gonna come? Yeah, but you know what? You're gonna probably have to pay a jet tax on it. You know what I mean?
Which I'm personally fine with. I really don't care. But yeah, now let me ask you. So you agree that it limits?
Yes.
So does that lead you? Aaron Rodgers is also on record this week saying, dude, Jeff Ulbrich is the man. He's a great coach. He's a head coach in this league. He's a leader of men. He's doing all kinds of things.
It wouldn't surprise me. I'll say that, Bean. It wouldn't surprise me. Am I on board for it? Nah, I mean, listen, not really. I think, listen, I know it's unrealistic, but I'm of the belief that you take your medicine. Woody comes up to the podium with his Woody sauce chain around him and said, hey, listen, the day, the day that he announces that they amicably part ways with Joe Douglas, I think he stands up there and says, hey, listen, we tried to build it. No, it didn't work out with Zach, but our defense is so goddamn good. We thought that the window was now. We went for it. We went for it. It didn't work. And so now we're going to pull the Band-Aid off. We're just going to cut them all. Aaron, Devontae, Greg
CJ.
the leg, CJ. You're gonna swallow. You're gonna have a dead cap hit next year of like $85 million. It's gonna be rough 2025. It's gonna be tough to sell tickets. But you know what? You're clean. You know, that is a way that I could see you attracting some of these guys. Be like, okay, so I'm going to have a completely clean slate. I'm going to have a young team. I can see who's worth, being part of the future, who's worth developing. And I'm going to have a clean slate. You're going to have basically all your draft picks except for the third rounder you're going to lose for Hassan Reddick in 26. And then there's that. And then you just move on.
There's a lot to be said for cleanliness. Fresh. And like I said, look, I'm really starting to believe my own bullshit.
Get out of town.
Yeah, I don't always believe what I say, but I do now, right? Which is this idea that I have, and it just came to me. I don't know what I was doing, meditating, sleeping. I don't know. I just popped in my head. I was like, the Jets aren't a football team. The Jets are an entertainment TV show.
Organization.
That's what they are. And it's working perfectly for Woody and the board and wherever else, all the investors or whatever he has. It's working flawlessly. They've 10 times their value. You can't open a burger shop and make terrible burgers for 15 years and 10 times your profit, Mart. You just can't. It doesn't work that way. Not a vacuum salesman, not a car. It doesn't. Your terrible work, you lose your business. Not Woody. So it's working. And the idea that this is just a TV show, when you take a step back and you look at it, it's perfect. Everything about it is dramatic. Everything, spikes and valleys, and we do that. So if taking that into consideration, you get to this point, and it's time to bring in some new characters. It's getting stale. It's like The Walking Dead, it gets a little stale and they kill some people and they bring in some new lady and she's cute and young and you go, oh, all right. Well, what's she all about? And, that's how they do it. That's how they keep you going as long as they can. And if not, then they got to fire everybody. But that's where we are. It's time to freshen it up.
You know what the solution is? Bean, do you watch soccer? You watch English Premier? No? All right. Well, I'll give you
not a shred.
I'll give you a little lesson in soccer league, European soccer, English Premier, if you will.
Make it quick.
I will. They have, they play the season out, and then it's the certain percentage. The last couple teams on the bottom, the losers of the league, they get relegated, right? They drop from Group A and they go down to Group B. That's what the NFL needs. They need another division, and the Jets need to be relegated to that division. And then they got to work their way back up. And if they win, if they place in the top 3 of that league, then they go back up and they get a chance to play at the big boys.
Well, and I did know that. You want to know how I knew that?
No.
Ted Lasso. They were relegated, and they had to fight their way back up. You have to win a certain amount of games to whatever. To get back up there. So I have a loose understanding. I at least know what you're talking about.
But yeah, the whole Rodgers thing, and I meant what I said. If it was my druthers, that's what I would hope would happen. You just peel the Band-Aid off, take your licks for 2025. You have Tyrod Taylor and Jordan Travis under contract for less than $7 million. So you got 2 quarterbacks that can bridge the gap for that ugly 2025 season. And do it. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I really don't. The problem is that you still have that large cap hit from Rodgers and Devontae Adams and all their void years hanging over you. So if you come back for 26, 25, you're just going to have to start eating that stuff in 26 unless you just keep kicking that can down the road. So at some point, peel the Band-Aid off, man. You tried. Listen, you can be unhappy and disappointed about the results, but I can't knock them for the effort. They tried to build with the young quarterback, didn't work. They pivoted, and guess what? It didn't work. But the bigger mistake now would be to just keep hanging on to that hope that somehow this is gonna work. That to me is the mistake. I know it's not like fucking PlayStation Madden franchise here, but that's exactly what I would do, man.
Yeah. No, it's it's doubling down when it's falling apart is just, it's silly.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I don't know. Everybody looks tired to me, except Ulbricht. He's the only one. He's like, all right, man. Well, I'm fucking doing tackling presentations and he's doing all this stuff. Like, he's trying. And I do respect him. And I happen to like Ulbricht. Doesn't mean I think he's doing a good job. Aaron Rodgers said, we're looking at it too binary, like wins and losses. And, he's changed. He's done a lot of good. It's like, dude, what are we talking about anymore? Are you trying to gaslight me, homie?
I didn't
trying to
think,
tell me it's not about wins and losses.
I didn't think that that a team could look more lifeless than some of those solid led teams where we came out of long breaks and the Black Sunday Miami game with all solid and the whole team like this.
Yeah.
Until this Arizona game. I mean,
it was the worst game. The worst.
It really was. It really was. Yeah.
The idea that we couldn't stop them, because even in that Black Friday game, don't forget the defense right before the half gave them a pick six and then ended almost like it was like a minute before the half, which is what set up the Hail Mary. Mm-hmm. We got another pick. It was like 2 picks. So like we were doing something. And the Arizona game, we didn't stop them until it didn't matter. I mean, they were scoring at will. Brutal. I don't know, guys. It's a tough one. Brian Block says Ulbricht is like that ecstatic substitute teacher is trying to get the rowdy class. Yeah, it's right. It's a good one. That actually makes sense to me. I remember we had this. Dom, do you remember the substitute teacher, Mr. Thoner? Remember him? Does that ring a bell? Dom's a few years under me, but we went to the same high school. You went to Parsippany High. Did you go to Catholic school?
I went, both. I finished a Catholic.
All right. So maybe not. But that guy he came in and he was right. Exactly that. You know what I mean? He'd come into because I was in all the troublemaking classes. So, he would come in and he would be like trying to, flip us. And, the truth is I liked him. So it kind of worked a little bit. But yeah, it's a funny thing. And look, I think that the guys do respect Ulbricht. I think he is a good guy. I think he is trying. But what I was talking about all week was what's apparent to me is that they don't know how to do it. Like they don't know how to get their team to come out from play one fired up. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to kind of, make, whatever accountability methods that you have to employ. This one needs to be benched, this one, whatever. They don't know how to do it to get them motivated to fear for their job. So they're playing with 100% aggression because you can see the difference, dude. Like when your defensive tackle has him in 3 yards in the backfield, slips off. He runs into your linebacker for a 2-yard gain. He slips off. Then he's in the defensive backfield, and it takes 3 guys to take him down, and now it's a 14-yard gain. Like, that is unacceptable. And they don't know how to fix it. Now, maybe this tackling presentation is the trick. I mean, he's trying. It's like Rex fucking burying footballs in the field. We're going to put this one to bed. He's going to be dead. We're going to mourn it. We're going to say a prayer. We're going to fucking move on. All right. I mean, if that's what works, I don't know. But it's like, how about we just hold people accountable that suck big balls? And even if it's benching them for the first quarter, fucking put in the hungry kid. Yeah. Hey, kid, you ready? Can I count on you? Because I can't count on him. Can you go in there and make a mark? Hell yeah. You know it. They'll start running in place, doing fucking high knee highs. That's what you want. You want those guys in there. Carson Steele all over the place. I need 22 Carson Steeles. That's what I want, Gunny.
22 Carson Steeles. That's right. A very particular number. Very particular number.
Well, for 11 and 11, I want both sides of the ball with that makeup.
So we okay. So
they don't give a shit. They'll play football.
Gotcha. You want football players. You want football players.
I want
and the mullet is optional, or is that necessary?
I mean, I feel like that's got to be a must. It's a statement.
At least 50% have to have the mullet. I'm not a tyrant after all.
There you go. That's fair. That's fair.
You like
I am
Cody?
workable,
You loved Cody Mauch too, and he had the mullet. No
Oh,
teeth.
dude, Cody Mauch was the most beautiful. Cody Mauch was the most beautiful guy to come out in the draft in 10 years. And if you don't know, if you don't remember, because, it's hard to remember all the guys. Like once the draft is over and they go to other teams, it's hard. I mean, even me, like Dom's good, dude. Dom goes, oh, that was one of your guys. I'm like, who? You know what I mean? Like 2 years later, who the fuck is that? And then I look and I go, oh, yeah, I love that guy. But it's like, I can't retain it all, Well, let's look at Cody Mauch. Let me see here. Here, I'll show you Cody Mauch. Here he is, this fucking sexy bastard. Hopefully this thing's working today. It's a lot of the time it doesn't work anymore. It says, oh, you can't. There he is. Look at this guy, Gunny.
Look at him.
Hey, that's a football player right there.
Let me tell you something too.
He's like, I ain't fixing my teeth. They're getting knocked out next week anyway.
He don't care.
So
care.
GreenBean and I, Gunny, GreenBean and I were down in Mobile at the Senior Bowl the year Cody Mauch was there. And let me tell you, the most polarizing personality that you'll ever meet. Everybody. The guy was, he's had personality. He knew how to speak. He knew how to control a room. Everybody wanted to talk to Cody Mauch. Personable.
We almost got him.
Yeah, we didn't get him, but man,
we were right behind him, and then that girl said, "Nah, he's done. He's soon. This is the last one." I'm like, "Who are you?" Fucking Dom C.
Yeah,
there's always one. There's always freaking one.
Yeah, that's her whole job. They were like, "Look, when the clock hits this number, your job is to make sure no little gremlins from social media pages
gremlins
attack our guy."
It's the truth too. That's exactly what happens.
Oh yeah.
If you remember, yeah, you remember. You probably don't remember. You weren't there, but I got an interview with Talise Fuanga on the field, and then the horn goes off, and I'm talking to him mid conversation, and the guy, the big, hey, he's got to go, got to go. I'm like, all right, give me one more second, I'm
like, let him finish his damn sentence, asshole.
Yeah.
5 freaking minutes.
That's what you want to say, but then you're all afraid they're going to kick you out and shit.
Yeah, then you lose your credentials and stuff. You got to be mindful.
Yeah. You got to be right. Handsome fella. He looks like, look at this. Eddie says, looks like Mangold after he got jumped. I'm going to tell you what, though. That guy, he might have got jumped and he might have lost his teeth, but there are people regretting jumping him. You know what I mean? And that's what I like.
Some licks in.
Right, Gunny, you're a tough son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You take your licks.
That's all. Yep.
Right. You walk out with a fat lip and a black eye and some blood and everything, but you're like, everybody knows I was there.
Yep, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you win some, you lose some.
You got to make sure you are also memorable. That's all it is. Just make sure you set a tone and be memorable.
Oh, another missed field goal for the Birds. Another one.
Good. I feel a little better. Speaking of that, what do you guys think? So we had Riley Patterson 2 weeks ago. Then we had fucking Schwartz. And then we put him back on the practice squad or whatever, and the Chiefs stole him.
So here's I'm gonna
talk about it.
I'm gonna take this one first. All right.
Yeah.
Because the Jets fans, and rightfully so, this season has been awful. But we're a hypersensitive bunch. We're very, very on edge. Anything that we can find, we're gonna I see the freaking Jets. Now, let's remember, we had Greg the Leg and he sucked, right? We bring in, we decided to put him on the IR, whatever, and bring in Riley Patterson. Everyone's like, oh, Riley Patterson, fine. Well, he kicked and he did fine and so on and so forth. Didn't have a lot of juice on his kickoffs, but he made his extra points in his field goals, and that's everything that Greg the Leg wasn't going to do, Yeah. And then the Jets cut him, and they signed this, whatever, I don't know, whatever his name, Spencer Strider, whatever his name is. And everyone's, we cut Patterson. We cut Patterson for this guy who's never kicked a field goal in the NFL. It was only the Jets. That's what you hear. All right. So this guy comes in, Spencer Schwarzkopf, and he kicked fine. Got a strong leg out of the end zone on the kickoffs. I don't think he missed a kick for us. And then he was on the practice squad. The Jets didn't put him on the active 53 because
why, Dom? Why not do that? Talk to me about the wisdom.
Because they had 2 kickers there, right? They had 2 kickers there. Why to put him on the active practice squad? You got to cut somebody, right? You got to cut somebody.
Well, you have a spot for a kicker, so make a damn choice. Right? Am I wrong here?
You got to cut somebody. You got to activate him. Somebody else has to get cut. So
cut the other kicker.
He's on the practice squad. The other
you got to have a kicker.
They will have a kicker come game day, but they don't have to. They don't have them. They're not spending a 53-man roster spot on them.
Why? Why not? Talk to me, please.
Yeah, because you don't know who this kid is. Like I said, you just bring in Anders Carlson, you have this kid, and so on and so forth, and then you're going to make that choice, right? So, comes in, there's a waiver claim, there's a claim. Kansas City says, you know what, we want to claim him. The Jets had the option at that point. The Jets talked to the kid, said, we will put you on the 53-man roster. You know what he said? No. He said, no, I'd rather go kick with Kansas City.
Hell yeah.
So I don't blame him for it. I don't blame him for it.
I would say, can we blame the kid? Let's be honest here.
So and then that happens, and everyone's like, oh, I can't believe we let the kicker go. Just like you. Like, how come he's not on the 53? Because he wasn't. None of the kickers were. Riley Patterson wasn't on the 53-man roster, right? That's what they're going to juggle, and they're going to keep an extra guy. They're going to keep a Eric Watts or a Bruce Hector or whomever it is that Sam McGuavin. They're going to use that spot on one of those guys, Kenny Yeboah. Instead, and then they'll just figure out who's not going to be active on game day and call up the kicker. Like it's not uncommon. They do that. They did that with Sam McGuavin and Chaz Surratt all last year. So, I don't think it's anything crazy. I don't think it's
what I'm trying to say.
Go ahead.
You need to shit or get off the pot. You need to pick your fucking kicker, and you need to have him on the roster.
They weren't going to do it, and here's why.
This is why I hate this goddamn regime. This is why I hate him.
But here's why. Because you have a lot, like it or not, dude, you have guaranteed money tied in to Greg Zuerlein, right? So the idea, I'm assuming, the hope is that after his 4-week stint and his knee heals up, the Greg Zuerlein's going to come back and be the kicker.
Yo,
he costs you $5 million, $5.5 million next year, guaranteed.
Yeah.
So
he lost 3 games for us this year by himself.
Trash.
But you're gonna, like I said, there's gonna be a roster spot because he makes $5.5 million, right? Unless you're gonna stash him on IR for the rest of the season, which is doesn't seem like it's gonna be the case. That being said, like you're gonna play like who's gonna kick this week, and that's the guy that's gonna be called up and activated. The really fucked up thing would be if somebody now tomorrow comes and claims the other kicker. Then they're really screwed.
The Eagles. I'm telling you, I almost am rooting for it at this fucking point. Take the other guys. So we're left with fucking Bob Bob Smith. Like, I don't know, I never kicked. I don't know why even I'm here. I'll try. They're paying me $50 a kick.
You remember when they Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, Gunny, what do you think about all this?
I mean, honestly, I guess the real question is, does it even really matter? I mean, right now we're 3-7, right? We're talking about an astronomical obstacle to go ahead and get back into what I would believe is playoff contention. At this point, you're hearing guys like Aaron Rodgers talking about he's coming back next year. I'm freaking out hearing that kind of stuff because I don't know if he's good at football anymore. If he's coming back, I think Devontae Adams comes back, and I think they're going to keep Ulbrich, and we're going to run this thing back again next year. I've been spiraling the last couple of days with like this kind of stuff. So do you guys think, the having a kicker or not having a kicker, like, do you guys want to win games, or do you, like, how are y'all feeling right now?
I want to win games until we're mathematically eliminated. Right now, I mean, look, like you said, it's a mountain to climb.
Yeah,
but there's still possibility for 10-7, 9-8. Now, the data doesn't support that. I get it, but it's still possible. So I'm not rooting against them at this point. Now, once we get to 8 losses, I'm still going to fucking root. Once it's 9 losses, I'm out. but I can't do it. Like there's nothing. There's just I can't hope that the last chance is squandered. I just can't.
My red flag as a fan is always I'm gonna always root for him to win, even when I know it's in our best interest to lose the game, like the Washington game last year, the New England game last year. Like I can't. I don't have it in me.
I can.
I don't.
As a fan, I think we hope for the best, and at this point, I've gotten to that point where I expect the worst. Though I think that's where I've gotten to.
Oh,
like, I'm
that's
hoping
definitely appropriate
for the best, and I'm just expecting the worst because that's what they've given us, man. They've given us this feeling of just it doesn't matter what we do, it doesn't matter what the talent level is. It doesn't. You know what? You got your offense. You thought you had your offense figured out. Watch us go ahead and cripple your defense. They're gonna suck now. Watch us cripple your special teams. Your kicker can't kick now. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, man. This has been one of the toughest weeks for me. I think is because you saw that win against the Texans, and I thought these guys were going to come in and they were going to go ahead and show life. I was thinking, okay, maybe that Texans game was it, right? The firing of Salo wasn't the spark. The bringing back of Devontae Adams wasn't the spark. The demoting of Nathaniel Hackett wasn't the spark. Hassan Reddick in the build wasn't the spark. We beat the Texans, a team that's going to potentially win the AFC South. Maybe that was the spark. Maybe this was going to be the momentum we needed to get them freaking on the right track. Then they show up against the Cardinals, and they were there. They didn't really show up. They were there.
Yeah, but Gunny, it's not their fault. They had too much rest.
They had too much rest, Gunny.
Too much rest, Gunny.
I mean what do you? They played on Thursday. You expect them? Come on.
Look, listen, and I get it. I literally said I hated the fact that they were going to come into this game with 9 days of rest.
Yeah, well, wait until we have to go up into Buffalo coming off the bye week.
Of a bye. That's what I'm saying.
That's going to be 40-0. 40-0.
Gosh, man. We're
beating them.
Cooked.
We're beating them.
Yeah. So in regards to the kicker, man, like, listen, I don't care, man. Go find out where that guy. Who was the guy we got from Minnesota a couple training camps ago? Vivek. Remember him? He was a punter and a kicker. We thought he was the next best thing since sliced bread. What the heck was his name? Hang on. I'll find it for you, Gunny. Hold on. Kicker, Jets, Vivek.
Frankie says Deion Dawkins will somehow score 2 touchdowns against us.
Kare Vedvik. Remember him?
Yeah, Vedvik. I remember
the Norwegian guy. He was a punter and a kicker. Go sign him. I mean,
is he still in the league?
Yeah, no, probably not.
He probably went back.
Yeah,
to Norway, wherever
is Ali Haji Sheik still available? You think he can?
Yeah, right. Ali Haji Sheik.
You think he can still kick one guy? Yeah. Listen, here's the reality. Is that it's easy to say lose, better draft pick. I don't know if this is the draft. I don't know if this is a draft you want to pick in the top 5.
I think that's the toughest part, right? Because as I've been getting into that mindset of I've been looking at some of the stuff you're dropping in our group chat. I started going into looking at some of these guys that are going to be coming out, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh God, I know you said Cam Ward and Shadur Sanders are the top quarterback, and I just look at those guys and I'm like,
they're okay.
This is it.
Yeah. But even it's all over, Gunny. It's like Mason Graham's he's a good prospect, a good solid D tackle. I think he's really good. I think Will Johnson's a really good cornerback. And you got a really special athlete in Travis Hunter, and the quarterbacks are they're okay. I don't think any of them are life changing. I think they can both play, but I don't think they're life changing. I know my opinion on Ward is going to be different than the mass media who thinks he's the next coming of sliced bread. I think he's good. He's okay. But after that, man, the offensive lineman, you're going to hear a lot of, if it doesn't work out as a tackle, he'll be a good guard. Or I don't know if he's going to be able to hang in outside, not long enough, not fast enough. He's going to be a good guard. Like a whole lot of that in this draft class, man.
It's depressing. It's depressing down because I feel like we are, everybody, not just us. I want to make sure I reiterate this. It wasn't just us as the fans or the content creators that thought this team was going to amount to anything. For the first time in a very long time, we actually had football analysts, guys who have great track records talking about this team winning the AFC, talking about this team going this was not supposed to look like this. The thought process was there was so much talent on this roster. What we've seen them do with less talent the last couple of years meant naturally there's going to be a step forward. Like that's what we all assumed, what we all thought. And instead we got whatever this product is, which is New York Jets football. So I look at this now, Dom, and this is the first time I think in a very long time I look at this team, and I really have no clue how to fix it. Like I've sat there like, I mean, quarterback, freaking another corner, coach, the GM, freaking we're missing a tackle. Like I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't know how to fix this. I really thought this team coming in this year, like we had figured it out. We finally figured it out across the board, and we were going to go ahead and see some awesome football. And we're seeing the same old Jets. Like it's literally but it's worse because the expectations were significantly higher because we looked at it and we're like, there's just no way. There's no way we're not going to at least make the playoffs and be in the conversation come the end of the season. And we're in November, right? Beginning of November before Thanksgiving, talking mock drafts, talking about like what draft picks we can potentially have that could, I don't know, man. This has been one of the most demoralizing seasons for me as a Jets fan. It's hurt because I really have no idea how to fix it. And this is the first time in a very long time where I've looked at the team and thought to myself, all right, you know what? This year we need to go ahead and go corner. We need to go edge. We need to go ahead and find a quarterback. We need a wide receiver. This year I'm just like, I don't know where we start. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to do it. I guess ultimately we start from the top down, you know, GM.
Well,
coach.
this is what again, you know, not to harp on what me and GreenBean already talked about, but like it's a perfect scenario to pull the Band-Aid off, take all your dead cap hit now, and just draft best available player, regardless of position, and let these guys work it out so you see what you have in 26.
Yeah.
I hate this fucking team. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
It's demoralizing, Green. Like, and you know what's crazy? Like, we'll say it. I've said it so many times this week. But the thing is, you can't hate this team if you didn't fucking love them so much. That's what sucks. We can
Your hatred only comes from love.
From
Gunny.
love, exactly. That is the only reason why you can say that, because you love this team so fucking much, and they don't love us back. They just don't love us back, and
they don't care about us.
You know what? I just saw something in the chat, and now it makes sense. You know why they didn't activate the kicker, put him on the 53? You know whose roster spot that is going to be? Connor McGovern. Connor McGovern.
Whatever. Figure it out.
Chuck Clark.
Every other team can figure out how to have a kicker on their damn roster without being threatened to lose them. Figure it out.
That's true.
Shouldn't have lost them in the fucking first place.
You have
the team. I can't take it.
You have 2 shit sandwiches on the practice squad. If one of those shit sandwiches go, you just play the other one. What's the difference?
Then figure it out.
You're making mountains out of molehills here.
I'll tell you what. And it's not a mountain. Like, this is the thing. Like, the Jets notoriously. This is why. Like, look, with Greg the Leg, they finally gave him a 2-year contract with some money. It was warranted. Like, he fell off a cliff. Nobody saw it. Granted his age, but he's been an amazing kicker for the last couple of years for us, right? So I get it. But like up until that point, the Jets have been notoriously cheap with kickers. And it's like, I don't understand it. It is such a vital position on the team. And it's like, it's a kicker, you know? Dude, if you can't get in the end zone, you need to get the 3 points. You want a guy that 53, he's good. 44, he's good. You need that shit. Then there's extra points. Then there's kickoffs. But it's like, look at the Ravens. They found Tucker and they said, this is our guy. We're keeping him here forever. Before him, they had a Cundiff for whatever his name. They had him for 10 years. They've had 2 kickers in 20-something years, man, because they value the position. This idea that it's like, like, fuck that. Like, how about a vote of confidence behind one of these guys? And it's like, well, I don't know if they like me. Like, how about, hey, dude, you know, you won the kicking competition. Greg the Leg's hurt. And at least until he comes back, you're the guy. How about that? We've had 2 kickers. In the last 3 weeks, we had 3 kickers. And now we just lost the one that looked the best. I'm sick of it. This team, and this is with this regime, which is why I'm in complete favor. I don't really care about like what Ulbricht has done or Salah. Oh, we could have kept Salah. It's all just moving around the chairs on the Titanic, dude. They don't know how to fix or do anything. Again, third offensive coordinator in 4 years. Same shit as Rex, same shit as Bowles. It's a repeat episode. And I'm just so sick of it. This team, you got to know how to keep your damn players. You got to know how to motivate your players. You got to know how to develop your players. And you have to know how to hold players accountable across the board. It doesn't matter that his name is Tyron Smith and he had a great career somewhere else. We don't know who the hell this guy is. Bring him in here. Great. We believe in you. Everything. If you suck, you're giving up 5 sacks in 5 weeks. You're sitting down, dude. Sick of you. Sit down and think about it. And they don't do that. And this idea with a kicker, dude, we literally lost 3 games solely on the kicker.
Yep.
Okay. Granted, there's lots of sloppiness around it, but we were in position to win those games. If the kicks just went through, we win. And the kicker lost it. It's vital to the game of football. And I'm not making a big case for either one of these low-level scrubs, but it's like pick one and protect and move on. You know, Dad, put him on the practice squad. We'll see how it goes by fucking Saturday morning. We'll see how you're doing. Like, what the hell is that? I never heard of such madness.
Only the
And
Jets.
that's what this team does, Gunny. I'm so sick of it.
Gunny. Spencer Schwarzkopf has broken GreenBean.
That's right.
That's
my guy.
Can you blame him?
Broken. He is broken.
Listen, GreenBean. For the record, we think your intestinal fortitude and ability to go ahead and hold strong as long as you have it just speaks volumes. But the kicker finally got to you. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We've been broken for a while, and now you've joined the club. This team is infuriating because it just doesn't make sense how only we can find ways to like just consistently embarrass ourselves and lose in the fashions that we do. And it boils down, even the kickers, like it's frustrating because we've lost 3 games this year because our kicker, who we thought we got figured out, couldn't make freaking some chip shot field goals. The Denver one might have been a little bit of a freaking ask, got you, but the other ones were 40 yards and in. You don't know. It doesn't make sense to me that this is our story. And I think that's why I think GreenBean right now is broken, because it doesn't freaking make sense that this is our story. It just doesn't. Yeah. And yet somehow it is. Somehow this is how the script writers decide to write out how we as Jets fans are going to experience the beautiful game of football when it comes to our franchise.
They know because we still spend just as much money now as we do when we're winning. And that's why they don't need us to win. They don't need us to win. But here's the thing. You ever heard the term the straw that broke the camel's back?
Yes, I have.
That's what this is.
This is it.
Like I've just I can't anymore.
Where's Sleepy Joe? Does anybody know?
Oh, Sleepy Joe. Oh, fucking Joe Douglas?
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive.
His head up. He saw his own shadow. He said there's 6 weeks of winter and he left
back. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure
January,
he's like being held hostage somewhere in One Jets Drive, and he's just there as a freaking like he hasn't been fired. We can't afford no more chaos, so we're gonna lock you in his closet. You're gonna stay in this room until the season is over, and then we'll go ahead and deal with you.
He's in Florham Park greeting all the prospective new season ticket holders. Hey, how you doing? Joe Douglas, general manager.
He's a greeter.
New York, yeah.
You know what we're going to find out next? Like in the next 2 weeks, we're going to hear Joe Douglas puts his house for sale.
Oh, it's going to happen 100%.
That's what we're going to hear before the end of the season. You'll see. You'll have no questions. They'll go, no, well, everybody, people sell their house sometimes. And blah, blah, blah.
I don't think
Joe Douglas buys a house in Dallas.
Something crazy. Watch. I don't think anybody believes that Joe Douglas is going to be here next year. And I don't even think it's just letting him go. I think it's just going to be him saying like, yeah, no, I'm good. this circus, you can keep it. I'm going to go ahead and figure out life somewhere else.
He wrote a little note to Woody on a cocktail napkin. He said anything is like anything below $11.5 million per year is insulting, and I wouldn't even consider it. So this is between us. If you're not offering that, fuck yourself.
I'm out.
I serve
figure out
at
your
the
shit, son.
owners. What did he say? I serve at the
Yeah,
owners.
I serve at the owner's pleasure.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Yeah, once you hear that, bro, it's over. You've checked out. Once you hear that, that means you don't bring any input to the table. You don't really have a say. Hey, what the owner tells me, I do. That's all he was telling us right there and then.
Jets are going to the CFL. That's what Dom's talking about.
Yeah,
they should have
relegate.
a link.
They
You know?
should be relegated to
Yeah.
a different league, arena football.
Man, I've been getting my ass roasted at work. People are talking about the Jets should go ahead and get dropped down to a Division II college team.
That's right.
And
They should.
It's so embarrassing the way
They're
we
not
freaking-
wrong, dude.
They're not wrong. Because it's so dysfunctional that you're like, yeah, nah, this is the kind of shit you could only see
Yeah,
in a Division II.
But Gunny, you live in Houston, so I'm sure all those people are Texans fans, and you got the perfect comeback. It's a shame that your sorry ass squad can't even beat a division.
Beat us. I've been using that. I've been using that literally all week as my shield.
Yeah,
I've had no choice. I've been putting that up. I'm like, damn, you're right. The Jets are trash, but y'all still can't beat us. So at the end of the day, what's it say about you guys? I get a lot of quiet people after that, so it's been pretty good to have that in the back pocket.
Yep. So
I'll tell you. All right. Well, look, we're gonna get out of here early tonight because I'm tired. Dom.
GreenBean can't think about kickers anymore. We set him off.
just
He's
can't.
done.
I'm watching Jaden Daniels and Saquon Barkley, and I did Mekhi Becton. I watched the play before. He just totally cleaned this dude. So I'm like, yep. He was. Remember, he was washed. He was a bust.
I am a left tackle. Remember that
Yeah.
too, GreenBean.
And then he
Remember
played
that.
right tackle. So look, again, this is the thing with us. I want to just say this again. I'm us, so I'm. It is what it is. We're family and everything. That was a tweet. It was one tweet, and we call back to it time and time and time again. He played right tackle right after that. You know what I mean? And if the guy's knees and ankles, all that, and you just say, hey, let's try him at guard. We haven't done that yet. I mean, we did it this year out of necessity. Olu Fashanu, Max Mitchell, they're all playing guard. But it's like, why not try something like that with the guy? But we don't do that. And this team, again, they just lack creativity. They're stuck in their ways. They have their systems, and they're going to live and die by it. And sadly for us, they're going to die by it. And, again, it was a tweet. It's fucking one tweet. Could have been a mood. He could have been eating ice cream, felt sick, and just fucking wrote it. I mean, who knows what the hell is going on? But it's it's a tweet.
But do you think if the Jets said, hey, listen, we'll bring you back, but you're going to play right guard, what do you think Mekhi would have said? Sure. He was done with us too.
He was done with us too.
Yeah. Well, at that point, yeah. But I mean, why not before that? Why not? You know what I mean? I don't know. Right. I don't think, and Chris Haven's got it. Keith Carter sucks. I mean, it's clear.
Does.
When you bring in, doesn't matter who we bring in, they suck.
He'll find a way to mess him up.
Yeah. Our coaching is garbage, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. But the fact that we're doing wrap-up drills, which is shit that I teach 9-year-olds for the Parsippany Panthers, is gross.
And what made that shit worse, Green? Our head coach came out in a press conference and said that shit with his full chest. With his whole chest. Yeah, we worked on.
I did a tackling
wrap-up
presentation.
Drills. I was like, bitch, no, you did not just.
Yeah.
Did you just. I almost lost my shit at work today. I couldn't believe that.
Now, I'd rather him do it than not do it, right? But the fact that we need to do it. Right.
Why are we talking about it?
It's like when Hackett last year said, well, we didn't realize that Breece Hall could be a weapon out of the backfield. It's like,
exactly. That's exactly what it was.
Can we not say that? It's bad enough you didn't know it, but you don't tell the world. I'm excited. I learned something this week.
That's exactly what that was. Yeah, we're doing freaking like pee-wee football drills this week to make sure we figure out how to tackle. Why are we telling the world this? Why?
Yeah, I'm with you, Gunny. I really am. But look, the crux of the whole thing, and really the indicator of the whole, is what Oregon Jets is talking about here. It's a loser organization. Even our hot dogs aren't any good. And that's bad enough. And then they charge you like $12 for it. It's like
$8 the last time I bought a
dude,
hot dog.
I got a pretzel and it was like the driest. I was like, and it was like, I don't know, $7.50 for a piece of twisted dough. And it was like, at least be warm and fluffy. Nope. Dense and shitty. I was dunking it.
And it's over here like dunk, dunk, dunk. I'm like, this is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
dunking it in hot chocolate and shit. It's like I can't do it anymore. And I will. I'll be here this weekend, guys.
We will.
Come
100%.
hang out for the game.
We'll say all that just to say that we'll be watching this game gleefully, hopefully, just hoping that they're just going to prove us wrong for once. Just do the opposite of what. Just prove us
do it
wrong.
right,
Just
Gunny.
win. Don't. My God.
Come out and play
win,
dominant.
please.
That's what I want to see. Come out and
That's
play
all I want to
dominant.
see. Look like you're pissed off. Look like you're as mad about what you've been putting out there as the fans are. Just throw that to us one time.
Come out and play dominant. Show us.
Right. And even if it's not dominant, like just be aggressive and a competent team from the first snap.
From jump.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I don't want to see an 18-yard run on the first play from their offense or an up and 3, down and 3 on our first drive. I just don't want to see it anymore. All right. Well, guys, I love you. I'm done tonight. It's 9:30. We'll get out of here a few minutes early, and it is what it is. Gunny, I'm glad you showed up, man. It's always good to see you. I will say I like Gunny less without the big hat. That was like I set a new standard for Gunny, but I like to see you nonetheless, my friend. Dom C, always a pleasure. Both of their channels are in the description. Please don't forget to support those guys, man. Like really, like it just takes a second. Click on the link, give them a sub, that kind of a thing. Also here, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the like button. That is greatly appreciated. It's the only way we grow. It's the only way we grow out here, man. And, we'd like to grow. We'd like to grow like so many trees, right? So with that all said, for Dom and Gunny and everybody else, we will see you. Where is it, guys? They will see you next time.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby.
I want to kiss you.
Thanks, Joe.
You want to run or you want to duck down? You want to duck, just go over and get onto the bench and stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets, Jets.